Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality and best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, is my co-host today. He's answering your questions about your life. I'll answer your questions about your money, and we'll probably both answer your questions anyway. Open phones, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. James starts off this hour in Tampa, Florida. Hi, James. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Dr. D. How are you guys?
Great, man. How can we help?
So my question for you guys today is I am planning on proposing to my girlfriend in the coming year.
Congratulations.
And I appreciate that. Really excited. We've been together for about just over 3 years now. And so, yeah, just ready to take that next step forward. Started looking at rings and things like that. And my question, though, is so I am debt-free, but she has quite a bit of debt. And so I'm trying to figure out how to start planning for that after, we get engaged, we get married, combine bank accounts and all that stuff. How do I plan to tackle her debt for basically going back from baby step 4 to baby step 2?
Well, that's exactly what you'll do. Whatever money you have in savings, when you come home from the honeymoon, you will throw it at the debt snowball, and then the two of you will combine your households, your incomes, and you're going to work her debt off then, the two of you. And so how much debt has she got?
Right. It's probably going to be around $55,000 to $60,000.
Okay. And what's her attitude about all that?
Well, it's funny you asked that. I've been trying to ease this conversation in with her, and trying to talk about or kind of have that dream conversation that you guys talk about a lot, and haven't had that conversation yet. But she's on board with it, but she does not believe that I said we can do it in less than 5 years. And I told her, I said, okay, well, jump on board with me, and, we'll do it under 5 years. I can promise you that. And she doesn't believe me.
Well, wait a minute. What is your income?
So I make about $50,000 with commission. So this year will probably be around 65.
What's she make?
She's a nurse, and she's a nurse, probably makes 50 to 55,000.
Okay, so here's a simple thing that a nurse can do.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody could do. Okay, is you make 100,000. If you put 30,000 out of 100 on your debt, you're debt free in 2 years.
Exactly, and that's exactly my point.
And if you say that sentence, and she rolls her eyes, then you've got a problem.
Right. And I think
sure.
I'm wondering how you've been with somebody for 3.5 years, and you're still, and you're about to buy an engagement ring, and you're still tiptoeing around any conversation. Like you don't tiptoe around a dreaming conversation, brother. You've been together for 3.5 years. Like, what is stopping you from sitting down and having that? That should be a point of joy and a point of coming together, not some sort of apprehensive moment. Why are you waiting to have that conversation?
I really don't have a reason. I just haven't done it, to be completely honest.
Give her that gift. That's a gift to any prospective spouse, male or female, for the other person to sit down and say, I want to dream together with you. That's awesome, man. That's a good place. And as Dave said, this is a math problem. And another thing a nurse can do, especially in this universe, is work Saturdays for another 9 months and make a whole bunch of extra money, and you can do something on the side, and y'all can take that two years and cut it down to 18 months or maybe even 15 months if y'all get bananas about it.
I left out. How much have you got in savings?
I've got about $45,000.
Okay. and she has $55,000 in debt. So if you write a check for $45,000, there's only $10,000 left, right?
Correct.
Well, after you're married, and you're making $100,000, so you should be debt free in like 2 months.
This is the greatest call of your life, brother. We've just solved all of your problems.
And then you're going to rebuild your savings. And she can't be nervous about using up your savings because she's not got any savings. So she's already should be nervous, right?
Yes, completely agreed.
Okay.
And you, brother, are going to have to work on the pronoun problem, which is this is going to quickly become not her debt, but y'all's debt.
Our debt.
Our debt.
Our
this is not
income.
gonna be your savings.
Our savings account.
Our savings. That's right.
Yeah, when you are married and come home from the honeymoon, the pronouns change. You are now French. Oui, oui. We do stuff now. We do stuff together.
That's right.
It's not your stuff, my stuff. It's unless the dog goes on the floor and then it's your dog.
Then it's
but other than that, it's everything else, right? Oh my gosh, that's your child that's misbehaving.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That is your son.
That's actually a rule my wife and I have.
Yeah.
Whichever
If he's standing in the middle of the street peeing, he's your son.
Whichever behavior the principal calls us on, that person's got to go to the
that's your
school,
son,
right?
John. I'm
right.
just saying.
That's right.
I agree with her on that part. But yeah, no, change your pronouns as soon as you get married, and you can say what, and you could even do that in the dream meeting and say, how is life going to look like for us?
Right.
What is it we're going to do? And what if we took after marriage and applied $45,000 to $55,000 worth of debt, and in the meantime you work like crazy and you've already paid it down 10 from working weekends, and so when we come home from the honeymoon we're like debt free.
How cool is that?
That would be a dream. That's better than 5 years. 5 years kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And your life right now kind of sucks. So maybe we can fix this thing.
I think we
not
just
a bad
did.
dream. Not a bad dream.
We're going to put financial coaches and counselors out of business if we solve people's marriages like that, man.
Now, well, I mean, Sharon and I were on about our third date. I was driving a Monte Carlo with 285,000 miles on it. Third engine, second transmission.
I was going to say, that's back when...
Yeah, it was. I mean, I had driven this car. It was on its third life. And I was explaining to her, I had $1.16 in my checking account. And I was explaining to her how someday I was going to be a millionaire. And about that time, we went across the railroad tracks and a muffler fell off my car. So this is the dream meeting, right?
The dream meeting.
This is the dream meeting.
What could this look like?
And you know, the strange part is the woman actually believed me.
Hey.
And she was right.
That's right.
Because I'm so dumb, I've done it twice.
There you go.
I'm a millionaire twice, 2 different times now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's the dream meeting. That's what you're doing. And it's okay if the muffler falls off the car in the middle of the dream meeting. But just have it and sit down and change your pronouns and start laying out some math plans and start talking about going through. Maybe you go through Ramsey Plus during this year while you're planning and getting married, and finish up and revisit after the marriage and that kind of stuff. You'd have a whole year lined out to do all that. Very cool, man. Very cool. Open phones at 888-825-5225. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, what it is, what it's not, and how to get your life back. We're taking your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jake is in San Francisco. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Dave. Hey, thank you. My question is, all right, I just sold a rental property, and I'll close next week, and I'll be debt-free for the first time in my life.
All right.
And, yeah, I'm excited. I just sold this property when we close, I'm going to have about $500,000 cash to put, and I'm thinking of putting it just into retirement, into mutual funds, and I have about $275 or more in mutuals right now. So it'll give me about maybe close to $800, and my home is free and clear, and it's worth about $1 million. And I have a rental in Newport that's about $1.5 million, and they're both free and clear, paid for.
Way to go, man! You've killed it. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm real happy about that, and thank you. I've been on your leadership team for Financial Peace several times, and love that program. And anyway, so I'm trying to figure out when I do this, is that if I put it into the mutual funds right now, I'm in basically three. It's a blue chip growth fund, and then the S&P index, and then a balanced fund that's about 30% bonds. And I think the blue chip's up about 52% this year, and the S&P I think is probably around 15 now, and the balance is about 13. So I'm thinking about splitting that money and putting in there. I'm a little nervous because I've been in real estate my whole life, and I sell it and, as an agent, and I'm retired now. And so I'm just trying to figure out whether that's a good move to split it like the rest of the stuff I have into those three in mutual funds. And
Jake, you got $3 or $4 million. I think you're not going to mess this up. So spreading it across those three is probably all right. You could do that. I have my mutual funds across 4 types: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. I'm not big on bonds because they haven't kept up with equities in terms of long-term track record and performance. I'm not a fan. I'm 60 years old. I don't have a dime in bonds, just to give you an idea. So
well, I'm 76 right now.
Yeah, so you're not going to use this money. Somebody else is. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll see what I can do to spend it. You know,
I mean, you can take a run at it, but you're going to have to get pretty crazy, man, to go through all this. But
yeah.
So you can do that. Here's the thing I think you're looking for. I think you sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, click DaveRamsey.com, click SmartVestor, and sit down with an advisor. And here's what I want you to ask them about. Look at some what's called low turnover mutual funds. One place you can always find low turnover is with an S&P 500 fund, an index fund. Low turnover simply means they don't sell the stocks inside the funds very often. Almost always it's a buy-hold strategy. The turnover rate is 5% or less. Therefore, all of your growth is going to be capital gains growth, or almost all of it is going to be capital gains growth, so you don't have any taxes on the growth until you cash it out. And when you do cash it out, if it's been in there longer than a year, it's going to be taxed at at a capital gains rate, not an ordinary income rate. So 15% instead of whatever your tax rate is, 30 or 35%. And so I personally do a lot of low turnover mutual funds. I'll throw money into an S&P 500 and just let it sit there 2 or 3 years and then go buy a piece of real estate with whatever it grows to. That's what I do with it. But if it just sits there, the point being that if you buy a share of stock for $50 and it goes up to $70, you do not pay taxes on the $20 gain until you sell the stock, right?
Right.
And so it's growing like real estate does with you're getting a tax deferred growth. You don't have to pay taxes on the growth until you cash in. And so the low turnover mutual fund keeps you from having to pay taxes every year on the growth. Where like if you buy a high turnover mutual fund, like for instance an aggressive growth stock mutual fund, a lot of times they'll have like not a 5% turnover, but they may have a 200% turnover. They may turn the whole thing over twice in a year, which means every bit of gain that thing has is taxable that year, and not taxable at capital gains rate, taxable at your ordinary income rate, which is at least double of otherwise. So you're paying twice as much taxes, and you're paying them every year, rather than letting the tax money grow more money for you by letting it sit in there.
So you have to pay taxes on
gain
growth on the gain before you even cash it out?
On a mutual fund, you do if they have cashed it out inside the mutual fund.
Okay.
So like a mutual fund, I have 90 to 200 stocks in it. And if they're selling, every time they sell one of those stocks, whatever that stock has gone up in value, that amount is going to be taxable for you that year.
Even if you're not holding the cash in hand.
Even if you have not cashed in, they cashed in inside the fund.
So you could conceivably pay cash or pay taxes on a mutual fund year over year that ends up losing money someday, and you've paid taxes against something that went away, huh?
Yep.
Without holding that money in hand, huh?
It's if you buy a share of Home Depot stock, and I don't even know what it goes for. I'm just making this up, and it goes from $50 to $70, and you sell it.
Right.
You're going to pay taxes on
that $20.
On that $20.
Right.
But you're not if you hold it.
Okay.
Until you sell it. And if you hold it longer than 1 year, it's only taxed at 15%.
There you go.
So multiply that times 90 to 200 inside of a mutual fund, and that's what's going on. All those things spinning out or not spinning out.
Gotcha.
So as long as they're sitting there and they're not selling them, and a 95% hold rate is considered, a 5% turnover rate is considered a low turnover or no turnover mutual fund. And almost all your S&P 500s are that, because they're just trying to model the 500.
Okay.
They're buying them and just keeping them.
Okay.
And that's one place you can find them. But you can also find other mutual funds that have a low turnover rate in them. But that's what I would look for if I were in that mix. And I know I would look for it because this is what I freaking do.
That's what you do, right?
Yeah. So because I do anything I can to be tax efficient and to get a good rate of return. And that's one of the reasons I buy so much real estate is I buy it, it goes up in value. I don't pay taxes on the growth and value. My net worth goes way up. And I don't have the cash in my pocket.
Right.
When a piece of property goes from $100,000 to $150,000 in value, I don't have that $50,000 in cash, but I do have that value there.
Right.
And I could get to it if I wanted to sell it, but I don't. So
that's right.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Joshua is in Knoxville. Hey, Joshua, how are you?
Hey, Dave and Dr. Delaney, how are you all?
Great, man. What's up?
I've been in business for about 8 years, and I'm wondering if I should go ahead and build a warehouse for my business.
What's the growth curve on your business?
I've been up about 15% every year. Besides for this year, I'm down about 30% due to the coronavirus.
If we didn't have the pandemic, in the last 5 years, your business has tripled.
Yes, pretty close.
So when you build a warehouse, are you going to build it for 5 years from now 3 times as big?
I'm hoping to go.
Or are you going to have to move out of your own warehouse?
Well, right now I currently rent, and I've got about 2,000 square feet. I was wanting to build around 3,500.
Now, you see, my point is you're going to be out of that thing in 2.5 years.
Right.
Because your growth's going to take you out of it.
Right now I've got quite a bit of room. It's more of getting more orders in, really, than...
Okay, let me give you the brief synopsis on real estate. As you know, I love real estate. So your brief synopsis is this: your business is growing so fast that if you're not careful, you're going to own a piece of real estate and you're going to go, oh, I don't want to move because I own this. Now the real estate is wagging the business instead of the business wagging the real estate. The dog's wagging the tail rather than the tail wagging the dog. Or I got that backwards. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? I bought a piece of real estate, it became me keeping the company in the real estate started to mess up the company. I started trying to take care of the real estate instead of trying to take care of the company. And so the only way this is going to work is if you buy a big piece or buy a bigger warehouse so that you can stay there a while. And then when you do move, you need a marketable warehouse that you can sell it or rent it out when you do move out of it. Because that's what we did with our old building. And we had to move out of it. We outgrew it like 3 times over. One of the things that makes the Dave Ramsey Show unique from other shows is that we genuinely care about our listeners. That's why we are very intentional about choosing our advertisers. Blinds.com offers high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And then their customer service is truly unbeatable. They make it simple to shop for blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping right to your door. And Blinds.com will help you every step of the way, just like they've helped thousands of my listeners with free design help by phone and online. Plus, they guarantee the perfect fit. Go today and take advantage of this week's special offer. Dr. John Deloney, that's his name, is my co-host today.
I like Dr. Joni. I can
Dr. Joni. Chachi and Joni.
Chachi and Joni.
Oh, my gosh. Open phones at 888-825-5225. On the debt-free stage in the Ramsey Solutions lobby, Tyler and Jessica are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. It's good to have you. Where do you guys live?
Des Moines, Iowa.
And all the way to Nashville. So how much debt did you two pay off?
$282,952.26.
Goodness! How long did this take?
23 months.
And your range of income during this 23 months?
$84,000 to $135,000.
Okay. And what do y'all do for a living?
I am a middle school counselor.
And I'm in sales.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you did not make $283,000 during that period of time, which tells me you must have sold something.
We sold our house.
All right. What'd your house bring?
We sold it for $140,000.
Okay.
We were moving, so.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So when it sold, that paid off the mortgage debt, obviously. So you're renting now.
We now have bought a house.
Oh, since then.
Since then, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the rest of the debt? The other 140.
Sally Mae.
All Sally Mae.
$10,000 was a car loan, but.
Oh my God.
You threw it out there as though that's better. Like, okay, that's good.
It's all Sally Mae.
Yeah.
So what happened 23 months ago that got you guys on fire?
We decided we wanted to move closer to family. I took a new job, and we decided with the house we had, we weren't getting anywhere with our loans. We were doing Dave-ish. We decided to go all in. This is the perfect time. And we sold our house. We put everything we made from the house into our student loans and just went after it from there.
Okay. All right. And then after that, you were able to save up a down payment and buy later.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Way to go, you guys. Wow. I mean, that took off. So when you made the decision to move, what made you decide to say, okay, while we're moving, we might as well clean up this mess?
Yeah, there's a couple things. We were looking at houses, and where we were moving, the houses were more expensive, so we decided to wait. And we have a little one at home, Aurora. So when we found out we were pregnant, we're like, let's get it done, and we were going to change her life.
Amen.
So we got more jobs.
Yes.
More and more jobs. Lots of work. Lots of work. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
If you have a spouse, communicate. Be okay with telling each other no. Respect each other enough to tell each other no, so you can get it done. I remember we would sit there and ask each other to buy stuff, and we just asked the question, does this align with our goals? And if it didn't, we didn't buy it. So we literally did nothing.
For 23 months, you had no life.
Correct.
Basically.
And now you're free.
And now we're free.
You lived like no one else, so now you can live and give like no one else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Aurora has a whole different future because of you.
Yeah. It's amazing.
How old are you two?
I'm 33.
32.
Wow, you're impressive.
I was going to say, I would have thought y'all were 25 and 26 is
I wish.
beautiful
Thanks.
and as light as you feel, right? How old is Aurora now?
She's going to be 10 months next week.
And so how much of this stress do you feel like she internalized versus what she's going to be able to live with without?
That was one of my biggest things is I didn't want to live in a rental, and now I'm thinking she's never going to remember any of this.
Right.
And we get to tell her this wonderful story someday, and she's never going to have to live like we did before.
awesome.
So,
Back in 18,
yeah.
your ma and pa. Yeah.
Who came to who with the idea?
Well, his brother.
My brother's been doing it. He's out of debt. My sister did it. So it's kind of started with my family, but our support group with both of our families, I've known of it, and that's why we've been doing Dave-ish for a long time, and we decided this is enough. Let's get it done.
So there was no big. You're a salesman for a living, so there was no big sales job here. It was as much as of a math problem and a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly didn't. I mean, he told me about it when we were, going out and in college, and I was like, that doesn't seem like that'll ever happen. I have over $100,000 in student loans, and I remember the day we sat down at the table and finally wrote out all of our loans, and I just cried, and I thought that moment would never end, and I just can't believe we're here. I can't believe
You did it.
it happened.
You did it. You're
Yeah.
heroes. You're
Yeah.
complete heroes. You completely stole the day. I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Very well done. Very well done.
Thank
Who are
you.
your biggest cheerleaders?
Our family, and then his brother and sister.
Yeah, his brothers. He's in the middle of this story for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
They just kept telling us to keep going when we didn't want to, and keep living in where we were living, and couldn't have done it without them.
Our family, I mean, especially mine and hers as well, we got so intense. Christmas, we were like, no gifts. So
and it was cool because
Yeah.
they got it, and they supported us. So
That's very cool.
Yep.
Well, congratulations.
thank you.
After all of this, how's it feel?
feels amazing.
Amazing. It feels
Yeah.
freeing.
You can see it on their faces.
That's just you can see it through the glass. They're just like
right there.
light bulbs,
Right there.
man.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Well done. Well done. All right, Tyler and Jessica, Des Moines, Iowa. $283,000 paid off in 23 months, making 84 to 135. We've got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. That's the next chapter in your story. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Yeah, baby. I love it. Well done, well done, well done.
That's so cool every time.
Never gets old. Today's the last day to enter our Ramsey Christmas cash giveaway. Could be your chance to win our grand prize of $5,000. Now, that would make Christmas special, wouldn't it? Enter daily to increase your chances of winning. Today's the last day, so it's not daily, it's today. And go to DaveRamsey.com/giveaway. Our team is using every reason to give stuff away. You can now pick up our life-changing books for about 90% off during our week-long Green Monday sale. Get books like the #1 bestseller is The Total Money Makeover, Dr. John Deloney's new bestseller. It's a quick read, Redefining Anxiety. All these are only $10, and Redefining Anxiety is selling white hot, going crazy. Yeah, these are exactly what every household needs to make a plan and get control. Enter to win a chance to win the $5,000 and get some deals all at DaveRamsey.com. Today is the last day to enter. We will be announcing the winner coming up of the $5,000 in the next few days. So you don't want to miss that, and you don't want to miss your chance to get registered and take a shot at $5,000. $5,000's a lot.
I've registered myself for. I'm just kidding.
It would do no good.
That's exactly right. But
Because you
$5,000
would
great.
violate the rules, and then if we drew your name, we would not say, "Oh, look, John won." We would say, "What is John doing?"
And he's fired, right? So no, it's $5,000 is awesome, man. $5,000 is awesome, and it's cool to be thinking about gifts that are actually going to be something other than a plastic toy that's going to end up in a bin somewhere, or some knuckleheaded something or other. Get something that's actually going to help somebody's life.
When we were kids, my mom and dad were in the real estate business, and we moved so much that we just kept all the boxes that were labeled, and we had 2 boxes that never got unpacked. Seldom used kitchen items.
But we're going to keep them,
But
right?
we're going to keep them. They're
Just in
seldom
case.
used.
Just in case.
And, we buy a bunch of crap in our culture that is of no value.
None.
So don't buy them a seldom used kitchen item. Buy them a Dr. John Deloney book, and you'll change their life. It's actually usable. It will not go into the box. It says seldom.
Not going in the box.
Will not say seldom. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Dr. John Deloney Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Devin is in Denver. Hi, Devin. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So my wife and I, we started your program at the beginning of this year. We're currently on baby step number 2. We've paid off a little over $20,000 so far, and we got right at 19 to go, aside from our house. But my question to you is, my wife is currently expecting.
Yay!
And yay, woohoo! Cool for us, right?
Yeah.
So, but we know we're going to have to pay a $7,000 deductible next year come March because of the way that our insurance is set up. So I'm curious, do we keep slaving away on this debt snowball, or do we stop and start saving up for the $7,000 that we inevitably know we're going to owe in March?
You got really good instincts, Devin. Yeah, you stop your baby steps. You push pause on your total money makeover baby steps, okay? And you save up as much as you can save up between now and the time baby comes. Whatever the expenses are out of pocket that you have to cover, like the $7,000, obviously you need to cover that, but I'd love for you to save even more. I mean, what if you save $17,000, okay? And, mom and baby come, mom and baby come home from the hospital, everybody's safe, everybody's good, and you write a check and you pay off the $7,000 deductible and you have $10,000 left. You push play on your baby steps again, your debt snowball is where you are, and so you would take the $10,000 out of that account back down to $1,000 and you'd throw it at your smallest debt and game on again. And you lost very little traction on your overall plan except your deductible in the story I just told.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds like a game plan.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
That's awesome. Good for you, man.
Yeah, proud of you. Good stuff. Open phones at 888-825-5225. James is with us in Redmond, California. Hi, James. How are you?
I am focused, certainly not finished. Dave, Dr. John, how the heck are you two?
Man, we're doing good today. How can we help?
Awesome. I have a question about baby step 4. I am not there yet. I'm in baby step 2, so I am not contributing to my retirement yet. My company offers a very juicy match that I intend to take advantage of when I get there.
Good.
Yes, I had a question about this because they only offer a traditional 401k vehicle for that retirement and not Roth.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the logic. I get the logic and totally agree with you on Roth contributions. So how do I take advantage of the match when the company doesn't offer a 401k through the servicer, Vanguard in this case?
Right. They don't have a Roth option. Doesn't matter. You still take the match. But I wouldn't take any more than the match. So how much is the match? What percentages?
So it starts at 8%, and then after 3 years of service to the company, it jumps to 10.
Okay, so you have to put in 8 or 10 to get them to match the 8 or 10?
They match up to. I have to look exactly how it works, but they match up to 10% of your eligible pay, if I recall correctly.
But do you have to put in that 10 for them to match?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so you're going to put, let's just call it 10. Let's say you're putting 10% into a traditional, but you have a 100% rate of return the instant you do that, because they're going to put in another 10. There's no mutual funds that pay 100% rate of return. So that's why you always do the match, right? Then I would stop, and for the other 5% to get you up to 15%, I would jump over and do a personal Roth IRA.
Roth IRA. Okay.
In good mutual funds. Now, what is your income?
So my job currently pays me $57, but I'm doing Gazelle Intense, so I'm also doing mortgages and delivery. So I think my income will probably be at about $120.
Okay. Then 5% is going to be about $6,000, which is a Roth IRA, oddly enough.
Right.
And so if you make 150, then you're going to go on to the third step, and because you can only put 6,000 in your Roth, and you got your 10% match, but you still need to put more into something, and you've run out of Roth options and run out of match options. So now you got to do the third option, which is just a traditional. So that means you're going to end up putting more than 10% if you make more than 120 into. You might put 11 or even 11%, whatever it ends up being, to get you to the actual dollar amounts that equate to 15% of your income. And so that's very good.
And don't forget to hold the taxes out on your side hustles if they're not being done already too.
That's a good point. They'll sneak up on you.
Because you can get to where you're capturing that.
Yeah, that 1099 will knock you in the head, man.
That's right.
You get that puppy in. Because, I mean, it sounds like he's making some serious bank. And if you're mortgage brokering in their 1099 and you're contracting that as well, then more than half your income, you got no taxes coming out.
That's right. And
so that's a good call.
Suddenly you look at that big mega number and it says 120, 150. It feels so good, but it's not that much, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do need to do the 15% calculation on the gross number.
Right.
But yeah, you better be setting those taxes back in addition to what we're talking about. So really cool, man. You're hustling.
Yeah, good for you.
Get after it. Lyle is in Meridian, Idaho. Hi, Lyle. How are you?
I'm doing good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I just had a question for you because I'm a graduate student here in Idaho. I did the thing that every financial penny pincher would have a heart attack over. I went to medical school, or I'm in medical school. And, but before I was accepted to medical school, I did door-to-door sales as an undergraduate, and I made a good chunk of money, and I put some money in an investment towards a part ownership of an Airbnb in Nashville. And I just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on that. The hope of investing in the Nashville property was to have, some residual income every quarter. And my wife and I, our plan was to take that residual income and, put it the main focus was to put it towards our daughter's future. We have a 2-year-old baby girl. And, but since COVID has hit,
Mayor kind of messed up your little B&B thing, didn't he?
Yeah, I did. But I mean, the first year we had it, we bought it in 2018.
Yeah, best laid plans.
It was going. Yeah.
Sell it.
Yeah. So I mean,
sell it.
It was working. Oh, sell it.
Sell it. Mm-hmm. You live in freaking Idaho. It's in Nashville. Dude, you are spread so thin. You have so many things are garnering for your attention, and you're going to do none of them well.
Right.
You need to concentrate on med school, getting through it, and paying cash, and use that Airbnb to do it. You got too many balls in the air. You're juggling arrows. One of them's going to stick you in the eye. Get rid of that thing. And it's that Nashville property is what it is. And Yeah. So just let me, you're right. Every financial penny pincher in America, that would be me. I'm the king of them. I am the king freaking penny pincher. I'm not cringing about you going to med school. I'm cringing about you going into debt to buy a property entirely across the continent for Airbnb in a city where the mayor shut down the whole economy. The only city in Tennessee where that has happened, by the way. So,
and I've got friends who are doctors whose kids are in college, and they're paying off their student loans still. And so when you're borrowing money to go to med school and you're borrowing money to buy an investment property so that your daughter, that's just, priorities are all out of whack.
Yeah. Too many things going on.
Too many things.
Yeah, the best thing you could do for your daughter's future is get through med school, debt-free, and or pay that debt off ASAP. One of the two.
And you cash flow her life.
Trying to borrow your way into wealth. It's not the shortest method. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, is my co-host today here on the air. We're taking your calls about your life, your money, and certainly with Dr. D here, we'll talk about your life. Anything that's going on with you, we're here to help you. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Mike is with us. Mike is in Oklahoma City. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave. How you doing?
Sure, man. What's up?
Yeah, my father passed away from COVID back on the 9th.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, it's been kind of rough for us. My mother inherited his 401k, and it's in his group plan. They informed her she could keep it in there. She's retired. She's debt free. We don't know what to do. Should we roll it over? They did tell her that it would no longer be managed by the asset group, and neither one of us has any expertise in investing. So.
I'm so sorry. How old was your dad?
69.
That sounds younger every day. Okay. How much is in the 401k?
It's $720,000.
Okay. $720,000.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is
He also has a pension in life that all of this is going to be coming in, and we have nobody to turn to kind of figure out where we need to go.
Yeah.
We know we don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
We want it to grow. But
right. And does your mom have an income other than from this money that she can live on, or do we need to draw some off of this for her to live?
She receives her Social Security. I think it's like $2,100 and something dollars a month, and that's plenty for her. Like I said, the house is paid off, the car is paid off. He left her in really good shape, and they were debt free. They worked themselves up out of debt.
Well, she needs to get more than $2,000 a month, man. I mean, we need to give her a better life than that because she's a millionaire.
she is so tight.
I know, but she needs to lighten up and enjoy a little bit of it. And she does not have to go hog wild and lose $200,000 at the craps table or something like that. But she ought to go and do some stuff and buy some stuff here or there. And so I would have you draw a couple $1,000s additional off of this money a month. That's $24,000 a year. That won't even touch it. There's no possible way she could go through this money in her lifetime doing that, but it would double her quality of life. And so let's do that for Mom. So what you need to do, here's what you're looking for. You are not, and here's what you're not looking for. You are not looking for a money manager, an investment broker who tells you what to do, and you just go along with whatever he or she says because they have letters after their name and a nice suit. This is how you lose all your money. Do not do that. Okay? What you are looking for is an investment advisor that will teach you and Mom. And it may take a little bit of effort, and it may be difficult during this time of grieving. So it's okay if you don't do anything fancy at first. So here's a couple steps for you that I would tell you to do. Number one, let's don't get in a hurry on becoming an investment expert. You're not going to be one in 20 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Let yourself off the hook. But also don't just turn it over to somebody because they're smart and you think you're dumb. That's how people lose all their money. Like those athletes that lost all their money, that's what they did.
That was one of the anxiety points for me, to trust somebody that does.
Yeah, you don't do that. It's not their money. It's your mom's money. You trust you and your mom. And the way you can trust you is you're going to learn. So here's some steps that allow you to move slowly and carefully. So rule number one is don't go fast. Rule number two is don't invest money in anything you don't understand, which means you can't go fast because it's going to take you a while to understand. Okay?
Okay.
That's okay. No shame in that at all. First time you drove the car, you don't need to drive it fast. That's all right. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Put the tractor in the backfield, let the bush hog down, and put it in granny gear and turn them loose, right? You can't mess nothing up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Just go slow. All right? Now, so go to DaveRamsey.com, click on SmartVestor Pro, put in the information. It'll drop down a list of the pros in your area. You can interview as many of them as you want, and then you select the one that you like the best and your mom likes the best. And go with the way your mom, she needs to use words like, I like that guy. He feels safe.
Okay.
The way her spirit reacts to the person is going to be a really good indicator. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And that's not so that you trust them to do stuff blindly. It's you trust them to teach you. The last step, after go slow and don't put money in anything you don't understand, the last step is with all financial people, especially in a situation like this where you feel inept because you are looking not for a salesperson, you are looking for a teacher. They have to have the heart of a teacher. And you will know you have met with a teacher if after you leave their office you have learned something.
Gotcha.
Now, I would suggest that you roll this 401k and the pension into a simple money market account with a SmartVestor Pro. That's just a savings account like a bank. It's going to pay almost nothing, like 1%. They suck. But they're 100% safe, and it's just like opening a bank account. You can do that. You already understand that.
Right.
Then park your emotions and give you and mom a little time to grieve. This is really fresh.
Gotcha, it is.
And then have another meeting with the SmartVestor Pro and another meeting with the SmartVestor Pro and another meeting with the SmartVestor Pro. And sometime around September, you will A, have learned enough, and B, have given yourself time to cry enough that your brain is no longer in a fog, and you can begin the investing process and moving some of it into mutual funds, okay?
Gotcha.
But you need to learn about it, and you need to have a clear mind, and no one loses it. Your mom and dad were married a long time.
Yes.
And
he was a good provider. He cared for him.
Yeah.
Cared for you guys.
And, you know, it's just your brain, your mama's brain for sure, yours too, but your mama's even more so, is in a fog of grief right now. And that's not when you make $700,000 decisions.
Gotcha.
You just put in a savings account over at that Smart Vista Pro. Get out of that company. Get away from them. Just park it there. Give yourself time to breathe. John?
Yeah, and make sure most sons want to go in and fix everything. That's the way they're going to honor their dad. I want you to also make sure you take time to grieve too. Make sure you've got some buddies you can talk to. Make sure you've got some people in your life that you can sit down and just say, I miss my old man and this sucks, and that you can cry as well.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. I'm so sorry you guys are going through this, but those are your steps.
Heartbreaking.
Go slow. Don't put money in things you don't understand, and always hire financial people with the heart of a teacher. Those are your 3 rules.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
CHM is not health insurance, but it is Christians helping other Christians by sharing each other's medical bills.
The medical bill sharing from CHM was exactly the way the website described it. There were no surprises, no bait and switch, no hidden agenda. CHM did everything they said they would by sharing all of our eligible needs.
We like that it's a nonprofit ministry and that we were being better stewards of our money, all while helping other families.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today here on the air. His book, a bestseller already, Redefining Anxiety, what it is, what it's not, and how to get your life back. It's an 84-page quick read. We're doing these books, a few of them here or there, that are just a quick read for you. It's in other words, it's not a thick book. Probably most people read it in one evening, particularly if you're concerned about the subject. So, Redefining Anxiety. It's $10 at DaveRamsey.com. What it is, speaking of anxiety, what it's not, and how to get your life back. It is not a death sentence.
Nope. It's not a forever thing. It's
not chronic pain.
No, it's actually a good thing, right?
Whoa. There's a teaser.
It's a good thing. It lets us know things are going on.
There's a teaser. So our last caller, you and I, and a bunch of you riding around in your car, were thinking about that one going into the break. Dad passes away at 69, leaves $750,000 to Mom.
Plus a pension.
And paid for a house. And had done a really good job. And now his son and Mom are trying to figure out, how to invest and what to do. That guy did a great job. That's a legacy.
Yep.
That's a legacy.
The first thing when we hung up the phone, went to break, the first thought in my mind was, I hope I set my wife up like that. That's the goal, right? Yeah. I know I'm not going to be here. I hope that's the conversation they're having. Her and my son.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the conversation normally is how do we pay for the funeral?
Dave, I've sat with so many, I can't even count them, how many people I've sat with who have lost their spouse, and they're looking at me in the eyes, and there's this particular look, and they say the words, I don't know what to do. And I'm sitting there, it's the middle of the night, and I don't know what to tell you, because I don't know what I would do either. You know what I mean?
Manufacture $8,000 for a funeral. I don't know where it's going to come from.
Wow.
Because I YOLO'd my life away.
Right.
You only live once. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, God, it's Monday.
That's
you can't take it with you. And you freaking child You immature little brat, you selfish individual, and you have absolutely no legacy because of it.
None.
I mean, one definition of maturity is learning to delay pleasure. Live like no one else so later you can live and give like no one else. It doesn't say you don't have a life. I have had a wonderful life. I've done anything I wanted to do, and I've completely set my family up.
Right. Those aren't mutually exclusive.
They don't have to be.
Right.
It doesn't have to be, I live in a cave, collect lint, and only come out on triple coupon Thursday.
Right.
I don't have a life at all, and that's the only way you build wealth. That is not how most people build wealth. Most people build wealth while they're having a good life. They just paid attention.
Pay attention. And there's this consumer mentality for kids, especially. We got to buy our kids this, buy our kids that. The new Xbox just came out, and it's $111 million.
There's Xbox?
PlayStation, whatever it is. Can I tell you what happened last night? My wife said, hey, John, our daughter Josephine, she's going to be 5 here in the next couple of weeks. She just needs you. And I know what that means. And so I went and found Josephine and said, I challenge you. And her eyes got real big and excited. And she has made this sword out of the inside of a like a presents wrapper, like a wrapping paper.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a sword fight for about an hour to where I'm so sore today.
Those things always break over.
Oh, they were broken. It didn't. She was hitting and it was incredible.
Yeah. Then you find out she put a broomstick inside it.
Yeah, that's right.
Beat her dad to death.
It cost no money. We had a great hour together. Bedtime was much better. This morning was better. And so you're talking about what's legacy? That we bought another Whittly-dee box, or we had some time to go fishing, and I put some money in retirement. I was able to save. I was able to do these things that not if, but when it happens, when I just suddenly pass away, that my wife and my son and my daughter are saying, how are we going to invest this money, not what are we going to do?
A godly man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, Proverbs says. And, so it is a different grieving process when there's a pile of money there. Money does not make them come back. I trade all the money just to have him back. I understand. You don't get to make that trade. These aren't trades you can make. Right. So it's not an option. It's not one or the other. That's not how this works. It's just saying money gives you margin. You have room to grieve. You cannot do enough crying when you immediately have to go to work to keep the lights on.
Yep.
I mean, tomorrow morning you got to go to work.
When your 65-year-old mom has to go find a job.
Tomorrow morning.
Right.
After he died yesterday.
That's right.
Because there's no money for the light bill.
Yep.
I mean, this is where people are.
This is where a lot of people are, Dave.
Yeah. And no one planned to be there at all.
But they didn't plan not to be there.
I know. That's exactly where I was going. The ones that aren't there planned to not be there.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
I just want people listening to this as you're driving or mowing the yard or walking around, wherever you're doing. I'm telling you, I've looked in the eyes of countless people who have said the words, I don't know what to do, and don't let that be your family legacy.
And what they really mean is not only do I not know how to process this grief, this broken heart that I have right now due to losing this person, but they're also saying, I don't even know how I'm going to bury him.
I don't know how to bury him. I don't know where their papers are at their job. I don't know where our bills are because we haven't communicated in 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 years. I just don't know what to do. And that's about having legacy conversations. That's about having a will. That's about all that stuff, Dave. And it distills down to one word, intentionality.
Yep.
Just that one word. Be intentional.
So, Dad, in the last call, is a hero.
He is a hero.
He did a great job. If I was going to coach him up, and you're him out there that is listening, you hadn't died yet, that means you're listening, right? I would add a couple things to his plan.
Okay.
Mom's clueless.
That's right.
He shouldn't have left Mom clueless. Mom and him should have been meeting with the investment counselor and saying, here's what happens. And let me just tell you, that's what Sharon Ramsey does. She knows she's going to, the first call is going to be to the Smart Investor Pro. The second one will be the coroner. Right? I mean, she knows exactly where her bread is buttered, right?
They make podcast series out of these situations, Dave.
That's really what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, she is not an investment professional. I am.
Right.
But she has enough understanding, and she knows exactly who to talk to.
Yep.
And so she doesn't have to have this, oh, my God, I have this money, and I'm scared by the money.
Right.
moment. And so one thing you can add to that last hero's story is I'd like for him to have trained Mom and had the counselor, the coach, the advisor, the SmartVestor Pro in Mom's corner already, where they didn't call Dave Ramsey. Didn't need me. Didn't call Dr. Deloney because it didn't need you. Had that dialed in and just pick up the phone, call that SmartVestor Pro, because this is what we've talked about for the last 10 years as we've been doing our investing there. And we talked about mutual funds, and we talked about we don't do these and we do these, and here's how you pick a mutual fund, and the very basics of investing where you have a basic rudimentary understanding. You don't have to have an MBA in finance. Right. And my wife was a full-time mom for 36 years now. So she's not an investment professional. Right. She's very intelligent, very capable of understanding the concepts, and does.
Have you had this conversation with your kids?
Oh, yeah.
As well?
Yeah.
That's a great gift that my dad gave me, was sitting down saying, here's where stuff is, here's where the box is, where all my stuff goes.
If something happens to me and Sharon together, they know exactly which drawer.
That's right.
I've got the drawer at the house. We call it the legacy drawer. It's where everything is. Right. Every piece of paper, all the wills, the trusts, the legal documents on the properties. And we go over that once a year, have a little meeting with everybody, Ours is a wee bit complicated.
Of course.
But, you can...
My family's this simple.
All you got to do is just say, here's what to do, and here's how to do it, and then that adds yet another level of peace. 750,000 adds a level of peace. Knowledge adds another level of peace. That's what I want you people to do. I want you to love your family well with being diligent in these things. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, author of the best-selling book, Redefining Anxiety. What it is, what it's not, and how to get your life back, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. William is in Wilmington, North Carolina. Hi, William. How are you?
I'm good. I've been listening to you for a little bit, and I guess I'm the opposite. I felt like your last little rant is probably me. Unfortunately, I make about $100K. I just recently bought a house, so I've been renting for like 7 years or 8 years since the divorce, and I have 3 boys, and I don't know where to start, to be honest with you, about somehow budgeting, because it always seems like I don't have any money, so I don't know where to start. I'm not familiar with the program, and it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
How old are you, man?
I'm 49.
The subject money is so big and so complicated. It's like the old African proverb, how do you eat an elephant? It's so big.
Exactly.
And, where do I start? And the answer is a bite at a time. The good news for you is that from 30 years of not only doing this ourselves, but teaching other people to do it, we have a map through the bites and what to do. And we call them the baby steps. And there's nuances and sidebars and rabbit holes you can go down, but basically there's 7 steps that you'll go through between where you are today and becoming very wealthy. And they're very clear and very easy to understand. That's good news. Bad news is they're easy to understand, but they're hard to do because it's about controlling the guy in your mirror. And I don't know about you, William, but he's my problem.
He's my problem.
If I can get that guy to behave, he can do a lot of stuff, right? He'd be skinny and rich.
Yes, sir.
And so, that's the deal. So that's the thing is personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. So I can walk you through the basics. The first thing I want you to do is I'm going to put you into Ramsey Plus for a year, which includes our class, Financial Peace University. It includes Ask a Coach. It includes a tracker through the baby steps, and it includes the world's best budgeting app called EveryDollar. And that's where you're going to start. You're going to start with a budget. Okay? Now, a budget is not a theory.
Yes, sir.
A budget's not a theory. It's the map to the party. And if you don't follow the map to the party, you don't get to the party. Right?
Right.
So you can't make up your own freaking map. You can't turn left on the wrong exit and drive 100 miles. You will not get to the party. So you have to... You remember when you were a little kid and you used to say, "You're not the boss of me"?
Yes, sir.
The budget is not the boss of you until you get it done. Once you've designed it and told your money what to do, then it's the boss of you. You told it what to do and you built it. Now you got to stick to it is the point. So all a budget is every dollar. That's why we call the budgeting app EveryDollar. Every dollar has an assignment. Every dollar has a name. And when $100,000 is given a name, an assignment each time, and you get to decide. You can decide, I want to blow 50,000 of it. You can do that, but at least you did it on purpose this time. You're not going to do that.
Right.
But, at least you're doing something on purpose. Right now, this is all happening to you. I want you to happen to it. So that's what the budget does. And when you lay out and you say, this is my take-home pay, and I've got 2 checks this month, and I'm going to have this much money in my account in this calendar month of January 2021, and you lay that down on paper, and then you assign every one of those dollars, you are going to have 2 experiences. Number 1, you're going to feel like you got a raise. Number 2, you're not going to be able to sit down for a week because you're going to be kicking your own butt on where that money's been going all these years.
Right. Well, there's only the only one thing about budgeting, which is that I'm commission only, so
Doesn't matter.
I don't even know.
You do know. Right. You do know what January looks like.
No, not yet.
Well, do you get paid one day after you make the sale?
No, sir. It's usually 2 weeks after the sale.
Okay, then you have a pretty dadgum good idea what January is going to look like by the end of December.
Right.
We know what half of it's going to look like, and you also know what your pipeline looks like.
Right.
So you're not going to be that far off. So you can still do it. We'll show you how to do all that. I grew up. I've never had a steady income. It's always been going up. Right. So once you got your budget going, you're making your money behave. You're going to feel like you got a raise. Then the second thing is we're going to walk you up the baby steps, and that says any money I find in the budget, what do I do with it? The first thing is you're going to save $1,000. The second thing is we're going to list your debt smallest, largest, and get you out of debt. Everything but the house. Third thing is we're going to build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then once that's done, then you're going to go ahead and start putting 15% of your income away for retirement. If you are currently doing retirement, you're going to temporarily stop it until you accomplish those first 3 goals. And John, there's such power in a clear path.
There's always a power in a clear path. And when you find yourself at 49 and you're making good money and you're coming off a divorce and you got 3 little boys, that's when the budget, following that path, a series of little wins can start to bring your whole life into focus, right? And you can start cleaning up a lot of that, as you said, that mess that begins in the mirror.
Yeah.
Just by following a small plan. Right.
William, there's something that happens when you say, I could never do this. I don't see a way. There's zero energy in that. It makes you tired when you say that. Your voice kind of sounded tired.
Mm-hmm. Sounds broken.
Exhausted, kind of.
Yeah.
Like hopeless.
Right.
But then what happens is when you can actually say, gosh, if I did this, and then I'd be there, and then I'd be there, and you start to see it.
Yeah.
And hope, you start to see hope.
It's a yellow brick road. Each one lights up as you walk, right?
Every time you take a step, it's follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah,
I mean, there you go, man. So I'm Mayor Munchkin here, dude. I'm going to walk you through this, right? And, that is the exact way it works. The proverb says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. But when desire comes, it's the tree of life.
There you go.
And when you could see the finish line, I run half marathons. When I run a half marathon, I can see the finish line after running for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Hour and 45 minutes, I can see the finish line. You still have enough in your tank to sprint.
You take off. That's right.
It's crazy.
And how providential is this young man calls and got to be on the line listening to another son talk about my 70-year-old father left us this.
Yeah. And so, dude, you got this 30 years and you're the 20 years, you're that guy.
Make it happen.
You're that guy.
Make it happen.
And you can be in a completely different setting, and you hold on. We're going to give you Ramsey Plus for a year free as Merry Christmas. And you go do everything in that.
Change your legacy, brother.
Do everything that we say to do. Don't change it. Don't fix the system. It's not broken. When we say do it, you go do it, and you will have an incredible experience and an incredible result. Baby step one's $1,000 in the bank. Stop all investing until you get that. Some people that make $100,000 a year have never had $1,000 in the bank.
They don't even know what that feels like.
It's all gone through every month.
That's right.
It just goes straight through, just in and back out. Only the names are changed to protect the innocent.
What's the payments? Can I afford the payments?
Yeah, it just goes straight through. It's just a cycle.
Right.
I feel like a rat in a wheel. And I've had people tear up that make $80,000 a year and go, I can't. It's just so weird. I feel so. It's $1,000. Why am I emotional? Because you've never had control.
Had it. Yeah.
It's always controlled you. You've never controlled it. And when they sit down and go, okay, I got $1,000. Now what? Well, you list your debts smallest to largest. You pay minimum payments on everything but the little one. You sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. You get those stupid butt credit cards out and you have plastic surgery tonight. You chop every one of them up and you never again borrow money.
And bring those 3 boys and let them watch you.
Well, get them to help you cut the cards up.
Cut them up. Let the legacy change today. Let the transition start today.
Light some candles and have a ceremony.
That's right.
We're having a plastic surgery party tonight. Put an end to this crap and get your life back. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping. And with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
All right, today's question comes from Anthony in Minnesota. Anthony writes, I've been saving money without my wife knowing. I've been taking more out of my paycheck to put into my retirement account, and I also have been taking $65 a paycheck and putting it into an online investing platform for another savings account. I know this isn't right, but I feel as if it is the only way to save. I want to more aggressively pay down debt, but my wife thinks debt is normal. I can't convince her to be more frugal, and I know we should pay off debt with this money, but I'm afraid that once I do, that we will just get back into debt. I'm lying to my wife to attempt to provide, and it hurts. What should I do? Stop lying. All right?
That's why you got 2 doctoral degrees right there.
Stop lying. Finding yourself in a challenge and lying to get around that challenge takes that challenge and sets it on fire. So the first thing you got to do is stop lying. And
So I completely agree. I mean, and he agrees.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
He knows. But so tell him what he should do.
Man, what he should do...
This is not a tolerable situation.
No, and this is not a money situation. This is something that's deeper than this. If he thinks he's having to lie to protect his wife, if he's having to go behind her back in multiple different ways, then they've got bigger challenges in their marriage. And this type of activity lets me think that he thinks it's okay, or not okay, but he's feels like he has to lie in other areas, and that she may be hiding stuff. And so at the end of the day, everybody's got to sit down and probably at this point have a mediator, whether it's a marriage counselor or a pastor or a friend that they trust, and him and his wife need to have what I would say a truth-telling session. They need to get somewhere where they can be honest with one another and do a clinical blood work on their marriage. How are they doing? Are they doing okay?
They're not doing okay.
They're not. But they need to put all cards on the table. How are we doing? And then they've got to move into, I can't continue to be a part of a relationship where you don't care about our future. I can't be in a relationship with you where you're lying to me and hiding money from me. And everybody's got to come together. And they are not even ready to build a future together because the foundation of this thing is so cracked.
Over the years, when I've been in these situations, and someone's sitting in my office, not as a PhD in counseling, but as just a guy who's helping them with their money, I often find that it's almost like I want to give this guy a syringe with Red Bull in it, because he, instead of being aggressive enough in the relationship to cause a crisis in the relationship, have a fit. We used to say, have a duck fit, right? Right? You know, I mean, just flopping around on the floor, create a crisis, be aggressive enough to go, dadgummit, this is not okay.
Right.
And you don't have to be mean or nasty, but this idea that the passivity that has caused him to lie, as opposed to being aggressive and just stand up in her face and say, no.
No more.
No.
Right.
And if you don't think yes, then we're going to go see a marriage counselor, because no, we're not living like this.
Right.
We're not going to live broke to broke to broke and in debt our whole lives just because you want to whine. No.
Or you just want to spend.
Or whatever it is.
Right.
You know, he just will not face her down.
Right.
And I just want to run down to Walmart on aisle 4 and pick him up a backbone. So, dude, install it.
Well, the challenge with the backbone is...
because he's hiding out of cowardice rather than courage.
But you have to have an or what. What happens
and
if...
somehow he romanticized his cowardice as if he's trying to take care of his family.
With deception, right?
He romanticized, oh, I'm doing this for the good of my family. Because you're a wuss.
You got to have hard conversations. But you also have to have an or what moment, right? So what if she says, if you choose to get out of debt, I'm out. This tells me Anthony is just punting that inevitable situation that's going to blow up at some point. So have the conversation.
Here's the thing. She's not going to.
No, she's not.
She yearns for somebody to look her in the eyes and go, we're going to do this, and we're going to win.
We're going to do it today.
And we're going to win.
Right.
Nobody has ever made her believe that you can win. And maybe, just maybe, it's her husband's job in this case.
Not maybe, for sure.
You know, I mean,
right.
I'm being sarcastic,
of
right?
course.
But I mean, dude, step up. Man up. Woman up. Woman, my husband, I have to hide from him because he's a little boy. And he wants to spend all his money on a lunchroom, and I have to give him money. He's not your son. He's your husband. Look him in the eye and tell him to man up.
No more. Right.
You know? So there is something about this kind of deception that has a passivity to it versus being proactive and aggressive to actually get to the problem in the relationship, because the relationship's the problem, not the money.
That's exactly right. It's a red flashing light saying, danger, Will Robinson, this thing's going down. Right.
Yeah. Gosh, we're going to have to go back and get Lost in Space clips.
Okay.
Because there's a whole generation that does not know what the robot looks like. Danger, Will Robbins, danger. With those hands, remember those hands? Danger, Will Robbins,
danger. If you don't know, Google it. That's right.
And then he'd always get unplugged. That's right. Every Lost in Space episode, right?
But to everyone out there who thinks they are helping their marriage by hiding or lying or stealing or cheating, you're not.
You're being a wuss.
You're delaying the inevitable.
Because you're not facing
reality.
You're in an effort, because you didn't have the courage to cause a problem, you're causing a bigger problem.
That's right. In the nerd world, they call it one down, where instead of causing a scene on top, I'm just going to gently drag this boat from underwater. I'm going to pull the whole thing down. It's going to take a long time, and it's the one down power move. I can't win up here. I am not going to head on up here. So I'm just going to gently be an anchor and pull this whole thing down. Slowly drown us.
Oh, my gosh.
Right? And that's what hiding and slipping around the corners and got this account and that account. And this, man, you're going to slowly drown. I'd rather see the thing go down in flames because you went out swinging, right?
Yeah.
I put all the cards on the table. I brought a friend. I brought a pastor. I brought a marriage counselor. This is what this is versus...
As for me and my house... This is the way it's going to be.
That's the way it's going to be.
And you do, the interesting thing is that people who are struggling with hope, who don't believe that you can win, when you declare with courage that we're going to do what it takes to win, they are so thankful for that.
And it's
when your teenager doesn't believe that they can make it,
right?
And you declare with courage, we're going to do whatever it takes by God for you to learn to do this.
That's right. It's leadership.
We're gonna get tutors. We're gonna work until midnight. I'm gonna stay up with you. We're gonna have calluses on our hands and on our brain. We're getting this crap done.
That's right.
And you're gonna win.
And
you are not going down in flames on my watch.
You're gonna turn the electronics off. You're gonna stop X. And you're gonna stop Y. Right? It's not just affirmative. You got to stop. You got to change your life too. Right?
We're going to do what it takes for us to win. What has to be true? We're gonna make a list of those things. We're gonna turn off that. Turn on that.
That's right.
And we're gonna. And that kid who is depressed and hopeless and looking down and rebellious and everything else is just going to go, thank God somebody cares me enough to bust me in the mouth metaphorically and cause this to happen. And that's, man, I've seen that in leadership inside these walls, in this business. I've seen that in families. I've seen it everywhere else. You have to have the courage to cause a scene.
Which in my head is you got to turn the lights on, right?
Yeah, my friend Seth Godin says, cause a ruckus.
Cause a ruckus.
Cause a ruckus.
No more.
And do it in the marketplace. Go make a ruckus in the marketplace. That's good stuff. Very good stuff.
Stop lying, Anthony.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Cause a ruckus.
It's a lot of education to say stop lying, cause a ruckus. Love it.
So that you don't have to lie anymore. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. My co-host today here on the air, Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality and author of the best-selling book, Redefining Anxiety. Kind of a timely topic for the dumpster fire year of 2020 that's finally coming to a close. So we're here to talk about your mental health. We're here to talk about the crazy people in your freaking family. whatever help you need along those lines, he has the answers for you, and we'll talk about your money as well. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Glenn is in Rapid City, South Dakota. Hi, Glenn. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Dave. Thanks, you guys, taking the call, and thank you for your ministry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you guys first, thank you so much. My wife and I are 100% on board in baby step 2. In the first 59 days, we paid off $15,000, and yesterday I paid off another $22,000 by getting rid of my truck. I sold my truck.
Wow!
Attaboy.
You are getting it, man.
I just found out that my hoopty has heated mirrors. I'm sitting in it right now.
Heated mirrors.
Who knew?
That is
Heated
by
mirrors,
definition not a hoopty, Glenn.
I didn't realize it. Spent $3,500 on it. Oh, well.
Attaboy. That's high class. That's high class South Dakota driving right now.
Right. Well, I'm a small business owner, heating and cooling electrical contractor. And the problem I have with budgeting, I'm having a tough time with it because I never know what goes on the top line. I can't plan far enough ahead because I never know from day to day. I do all service work, and so it changes so much, and I just can't get my head around it.
Okay, let's stop talking about it as a personal budget for a minute, and let's just talk about it as a business.
Sure.
How long have you been doing the business?
6 years.
Okay. So you do service work on heating and air?
Yeah, and electrical too, yeah.
Okay. The people that I know in the business tell me that the first cold snap is a big time because people turn their heat on had been off all summer and they turn it on, it doesn't work. And the first warm day or warm week, they turn their AC on, it doesn't work. So those are usually two big months, am I right?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay. So we can start to predict some things. You have seasonality, and B, you have 6 years of records. And so what I would do is say, I'm going to look at, if you're coming up on March, I'm going to look at my last 3 Marches and see what the pattern is, and they ought to inform me as to what this March looks like. So let me give you an example. What would be a normal month for you in top line? Pick a month. Give me a number.
50,000.
You do 50,000 a month?
In gross sales, and it's just me.
Okay.
I'm in the wrong business, Glenn.
Yeah, all right. So $50,000 a month, top in gross sales. Okay. So if you looked at last March and it was 40,000, and the March before that and it was 30,000, and the March before that and it was 25,000, you would see a growth trend year over year, same month last year. Not last month, same month last year. So we're seeing a 25 to a 30 to a 40 to a 50 trend all in the last 3 or 4 Marches, which tells me if I'm coming up on this March, I might be looking at 60. You see how I did that?
Yeah, I do.
Now, that's not accurate because we don't know for sure, but we're forecasting based on history, same month last year. Same month last several years gives me a trend line that I can use. Now, if you made 50 every single March for the last 3 Marches, then we could probably predict 50, not 60.
Yes.
Okay? Because the trend line is flat, but we still have some old data to use to forecast with and predict with. And so, now, could you do 52? Yeah. Could you do 45? Yeah. The likelihood of you doing 30 is almost zero as long as you work every day. Right?
True.
And the likelihood of you doing 90 is almost zero.
True.
You're going to be some range, plus or minus, off of that trend line from the last several years, same month last year. So that's how you do business forecasting on your top line. Now, your bottom line is going to be a function of your top line because you probably run a pretty standard margin on that 50. You probably know every time I make 50,000, I net X. And you're just going to have that X to work with. That's what you're going to take home and use. But you're not going to vary unless something happens. Okay, now something could happen. You could hire a guy, and that would increase That's a change in those over those trend lines. But you just say, okay, what's my trend line and what's different this year? Well, I mean, pandemic could be different. That could be what's different off the trend line. So I really can't predict the trend line to be that way. I'm gonna predict it to be less or more. If you're in a plexiglass business, you predict more. You know? The bleach business, the toilet paper business, you predict more.
I should have gone into plexiglass.
I should have done that early in my life. But yeah, so that's how you do your predictions there. You same month last year, and you can look at last month, and that's somewhat of a prediction. But it could be that, you know, we've got businesses here inside of Ramsey that, like Ed Solutions, our high school curriculum, a lot of the decisions are made in April for the whole year. And so we have this huge mountaintop experience on our P&Ls on the gross revenues. April's the month. That's when the crop comes in.
Right.
You're a farmer. When are you going to harvest your crop?
Right.
And, you know, other than that, you're planting and making nothing.
Right.
And you're waiting on the fall crop to come in. Then you're going to pull the cotton. You're going to pull the corn. You're going to pull the soybeans, whatever it is, right? And you're going to, you know when that's coming. We know we're going to take that to market. We don't know exactly what it's going to yield, but we know it's not going to happen in this month. We know it's going to happen in that month.
So several callers today across all the shows today, Dave, have been a small business owner. I'm a salesman, and there's this common theme of it's hard for me to predict. I don't know how to guess. I'm concerned, just as an outside guy, that there's people running businesses without keeping any sort of tracking data, without asking themselves, what are year over year? Do I know what I'm making in this month? What did I make last year in this month, and how can I make more? How do we help folks pay better attention to their data?
Entree Leadership.
Yeah.
Go start listening to the Entree Leadership podcast. Get online and join the Entree Leadership Elite, and we'll teach you how to run your business. Because most small businesses fail because they don't do what we're talking about. They don't predict. They don't do any budgeting. All they do is look at their P&L. They drive their car looking only at the rearview mirror. What happened a year ago, not what's going to happen next year.
It's almost like forgetting Christmas shows up every year on the same day, right?
Yeah, Christmas this year. Who knew? It was going to be in December. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. One of the things that makes the Dave Ramsey Show unique from other shows is that we genuinely care about our listeners. That's why we are very intentional about choosing our advertisers. Blinds.com offers high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And then their customer service is truly unbeatable. They make it simple to shop for blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping right to your door. And Blinds.com will help you every step of the way, just like they've helped thousands of my listeners with free design help by phone and online. Plus, they guarantee the perfect fit. Go today and take advantage of this week's special offer. If you feel like you should have made more progress on your debt by now, I understand. When it comes to paying off debt, sometimes it feels like all grind and no reward. Here's the thing. When you try to do it on your own, you're more likely to fall back into bad habits. That's why when ish happens, you stop making progress. And that's why you need Ramsey Plus. Ramsey Plus is our step-by-step money plan that will give you the accountability, the encouragement, the practical tips that you need to pay off your debt faster than you can do on your own. When you have someone in your corner cheering you on, you make the tough choices that get you where you want to be. Ramsey Plus helps you go from ish to All In, so you can finally keep more of your money. To start your free trial of Ramsey Plus, just text the word trial to 33789. A free trial by texting trial to 33789. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Jen is with us in Orange County, California. Hi, Jen. Welcome to the show. How can we help?
Hi, Mr. Ramsey and Dr. Deloney. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
Me and my husband have a life household money question for you. We have a couple of different options for me potentially starting to work part-time that we're considering, and we wanted to get your opinion if we've considered all of our options and what is the best way to maybe test those options. We are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and we're both working right now, and we love our careers, but more recently I've just felt a tug to want to be at home more. We have 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and we've also realized that how much work there is for managing a house and the cooking and the laundry and the appointments. And so the 2 options we're really looking at is me going part-time when the 5-year-old goes to school next fall, and we can still pay off the house in a little less than 15 years if we do that. The other option we're looking at, because we really want the freedom in getting the house paid off, is to suck it up for like 3 years and pay off the house, and because then I wouldn't really have to have the option to work maybe. But that would mean maybe doing more of a baby step 3B, 4-ish and bringing the retirement down to maybe the company match. So those are the 2 options we're considering. And just
what do you make?
Together we make about
No. What do you make?
165.
You make 165.
Yes.
What does he make?
About 135.
What does he do?
He's in finance for a local restaurant company.
And how old are you guys?
We're 37.
Okay. What do you do?
I work for a medical device company in regulatory.
And you can do that part-time?
I think I have options, even if the company I work at currently wouldn't be willing to do it. I think I know enough people in industry, or could potentially consult if that company or another company wouldn't hire me. But I'm
okay. So if you went part-time, how much does it cut your all's income? You're from 165 to what?
About 80.
So about in half.
Yep.
Okay. If I'm in your shoes, I'm going part-time in September when the 5-year-old goes to school.
Okay.
The way I decided that was, this is not a question of financial well-being. This is just a question of how fast you get rich.
Yeah.
you cannot have those years back.
Yeah, I'll trade getting rich a little slower for you to be there with the 5-year-old when she comes home making her cookies, or whatever the scenario is you want to do.
Yeah.
That's quality of life.
It's hard to hear that. Okay.
It's quality of life. Well, the thing is, you get tremendous satisfaction, and you're tremendously good at your job. You don't hate your job.
No, not at all.
You're a professional woman. I mean, you're killing it. And so you're really trading something that you love for something that you love more.
And Jen, you need to know, and like I'm telling you, like you don't know this, there is an entire industry, there's an entire cultural ethos that is against women having peace, period. So if you are at work crushing it at 165, you and your husband are just sailing through life, there is a part of that culture that's going to tug on you and say, why aren't you at home?
They're going to shame you for not being home with the baby. Yeah.
And you're going to then you're going to take a half pay cut, still making double the average U.S. salary. You're going to go home, and there's going to be an industry telling you, Seriously? What kind of modern woman are you?
You walked away from that career. What's wrong with you?
You hate your family financially?
Yeah. So there's a moron out there somewhere to shame you no matter what you do.
Right. And so here's what you have to do as you make this transition. And I'm speaking from somebody, we've made the same transition in my house, okay? You've got to get a couple of people around you that are going to be able to walk alongside you as you make this transition. You're going to have to learn new skills. And most of us don't think I have to learn skills on how to run a household. I can just, quote unquote, take care of my kids. It's more complex than that. You got to learn some new things, and you got to have people around you that you can reach out to and say, today sucks. And I love my kids, but I don't like them today. And that aren't going to judge you and say, you're the worst mom, and we're going to send you mean cards and pray for you. But they're going to laugh and send you funny memes, and you're going to go on with your day. And then there's going to be people who are going to pick you up on the work side of it, but you got to have folks who walk alongside you. Dave, I know too many folks who go home to follow this call to be at home with their kids, and then it just is a silent vortex there, and they get lonely, and they start doubting, and then they start looking online, and then everybody's telling them what a loser they are, and they made the wrong decision, and it's hard. You got to have people walk alongside you when you do this.
This is when you learn that Facebook friends are not friends.
They're not your friends. No.
They're not real. They're not real friends.
No. Gosh. They're not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Jen, go home.
Go home. And it's going to be hard and worth it.
Use that wonderful brain that God gave you to be a world-class mom while you're doing consulting or whatever it is you. And here's the other thing. You've done all of your projections as if your income is linear. And his income is linear, and it's not. You're both in professional careers. Both of you are going to see your incomes go up, even if you're working part-time, and he's continuing to. So it's not a 15-year versus a 3-year. It's a 3-year versus a 8 or 10-year.
Yeah.
You're going to get there.
Good for you.
Really, really good question. Really good question. Mike's in Philadelphia. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, John. How are you guys doing?
Great. What's up?
I had a quick question just generally around motivation. My wife and I, we had our kind of never again moment about 2 years ago. Had around $250,000 in student loan debt plus a mortgage.
Good Lord.
And she had then lost her job, and she was about 60% of our income. So we then kind of made the decision, we got to buckle down, and we said we got to pay off the debt when she gets back into it. We really paid off a lot of debt over the past 2 years, even with her being out of work. But just having generally just trouble with motivation, especially with the holiday season. We want to spend some money on our kids and a few other things, and just want to get a little bit of advice.
You evil guy wanting to spend money on your kids. What's wrong with you? Of course you need to spend some money on your kids.
Yeah.
And of course you've lost, you're not having as much progress as you thought you were going to have because you lost her income. Those are realities, man. Mm-hmm. That's not a loss of motivation. That's a loss of mathematics. That's okay.
Yeah.
You're not broke. It's good.
No, and luckily she did get a new job, and like I said,
she'll get a new job, and then you're going to get you're going to be able to plow again because you got a tractor again. You get moving again. But right now you're kind of slow, and that's just kind of your reality. It didn't mean you quit, and it doesn't mean you lost your motivation. It means you lost your income.
That's right. When you're running a marathon, sometimes you stop and you get that water station, right? And you slow down a little bit and you get the water. You're not losing your desire to finish. You got to slow down for a minute, and then you're going to pick back up, and then you're going to start running again.
Yeah, it's nutrition. And, what you're facing is exactly the way you should be feeling. You're going to do great.
Get your kid a Christmas gift.
Amen.
Cliff and I joined Christian Healthcare Ministries because we really liked the concept of Christians sharing each other's burdens. And we really experienced that firsthand when Cliff was diagnosed with heart disease.
Christian Healthcare Ministries, or CHM, is not health insurance, but rather a federally approved exemption to the healthcare law. It's a time-tested model to help take care of your healthcare costs. It's Christians helping other Christians by sharing each other's medical bills.
Adjusting to a new system of paying for health care was kind of tricky, but that's where CHM stepped in, and they really helped navigate that water with the hospital and the payment.
Want to see if CHM is the right fit for your healthcare needs? Check out our website at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget.
It was just such a relief to know that financial burden was going to be taken care of.
If there's one thing 2020's taught us about investing, it's you cannot invest alone. You need someone in your life who knows the market better than you do and teaches you so that you make smart decisions and they talk you off the ledge. Look, I love do-it-yourselfers, but DIY investors do not have the same rates of return that those of us who have pros in our corner. I don't pull my own teeth, and I don't do my own investing. I get advice just like I tell you to do. You invest in the wrong things, you get caught up in trends, you make rookie mistakes, you build a portfolio based on what you read on Reddit. Oh my God, what were you reading Reddit for? That's a lost day. You'll never get that time back. Not realizing it all it takes is one freaking pandemic to knock you completely off track. Trust me, you do not need to add any unnecessary stress to your life. Stop winging it. A good investment pro like a SmartVestor Pro will help you follow the right plan for your money so you understand what's going on and you invest in the right things and you never have to worry if you're making the right decision. If this is your never again moment for your retirement and your investing, don't be at the mercy of some global crisis ever again. Text INVEST to 33789. Text INVEST to 33789, and you can create a rock-solid investment plan starting today. Bethany is with us in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Hi, Bethany. Welcome to the show. How can we help?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
I have a question. So my husband and I have 3 very small kids, and our middle child has Down syndrome. So we are just wondering what you would advise for the future. We recognize that college may be a possibility, but it may not be. So we're just wondering what you would do different to save for her future, and then would you save the same monetary amount per kid?
No, equal is not fair, and fair is not equal.
Right. Okay.
And so if this child needs more money set aside than the other 2, then to take care of them, then there's nothing wrong with that at all. Matter of fact, that would be called being a good parent. And so you don't have some moral obligation to dole out everything equally. What we're going to do is you're just going to save the money in your name.
Okay.
And you're going to have life insurance on you and your husband. Okay?
Right.
And in both cases, the life insurance beneficiary is going to be named to the family trust that is formed upon your death.
Okay.
You need to get a lawyer and get a will built, or go to Mama Bear Legal Forms and get a will built. It depends on how complicated your estate is, but yours is getting ready to get pretty complicated. So what you normally do for a special needs child, there's a special needs trust. Which lasts their entire life, and the trustee is in charge of investing the money and handling the money to take care of the child.
Okay.
And they do it according to your directions. And so if this were my child, I would have a special needs trust that's formed upon my death and my wife's death, and it's funded with the money from the life insurance policy. That's the beneficiary on the life insurance policy says X number of dollars out of this policy goes in the special needs trust. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to put it across 4 types of mutual funds: growth and income, aggressive growth and international. And the income produced off of this fund is to take care of this child, and that is the trustee's job. You would also name a guardian to the extent that the child as an adult is not able or is able to take care of themselves. Might be a sibling. Okay, something like that. Now, with children that are not special needs and they're minors, we always build a family trust, and the same exact thing. The life insurance proceeds go into the trust upon your death if both of you die. And or your mutual funds and investments that you already have go into that trust in the event that both of you die, and it works exactly the same way. The only difference is that when the child reaches a certain age, that the money's just released to them because they're adults and they're on their own. And you don't need a trust, a family, a childhood trust surviving until that kid's 65. With special needs, you may. It's the only difference is the length of time the thing survives. They work exactly the same way. So if you put $500,000 in there and the thing makes 10%, that gives $50,000 a year to take care of that kid. That's simple. And you can put the $500,000 in there with investments over time. But until you have that $500,000, you would have $500,000 worth of your life insurance allocated to that. And I just made that number up. But just I would just say take 10% and use that as your number. It's probably not right, but it's close enough. And say, all right, I want them to have $3,000 a month. Well, that's $36,000 a year, so that's $360,000. So let's just call that a $400,000 policy. And I'm going to get $1 million on your husband and you, and if something happens to you, $400,000 is going in a special needs kids trust, and the other $600,000 is going over here for the other two, $300 each, and they've got very similar wording and so forth. Make sense?
It does. I think so. Yeah. It's
So how severe is the downs?
Well, I mean, we don't know. She's 2.
Oh, you okay?
So,
yeah, you don't have indication yet.
Yeah. We have a long time to go. So she's only 2.
How old are your other kids?
My oldest is 4, and I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Wow.
Oh, you are in it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're calling me about a will. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. I mean, even just to set aside for college.
Yeah.
Like it feels. I don't know what to do for her.
I would not set aside for college. I would just keep it in your name. Because you can control it that way, and you can do with it what you want. If you put it into their name, you might lose control of it when they turn 21. The courts might take it and take it over to manage it for the kid, and it's not their money, it's your money.
Yeah,
And you're not going to do anything that's not for the benefit of the kid.
No, we just, we know for us everything's a little bit slow. Financially, we're not, we're just, so I just want to make the best decisions.
Yeah, you're going to get there because you're thinking about it and you're being intentional. All right, Brian's in Birmingham. Hey, Brian, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and John. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. Oh, Birmingham, UK. I thought it was Alabama. Okay. How can I help?
No, a bit further away. So,
just a wee bit,
I live in the UK, obviously. Yeah, just a little bit. So things are a little bit different here to the US, and a lot of the things that I look at, YouTube videos, blogs, that sort of thing, a lot of things say that kind of the baby steps in your plan don't apply to the UK, but I tend to disagree. For the last sort of year, I've gone down a rabbit hole of looking at your videos and followed your steps thus far, and it's served me pretty well. I've got out of debt, and where my wife and I are at the moment, as we're baby steps 4, 5, and 6. The concern that I have, I'm 31. My wife she's 28. Prior to looking at your videos, I didn't really know anything about finance at all. I just lived paycheck to paycheck. My concern now is whether I'm going to have enough in retirement. We're saving 15% of our total gross income.
Why wouldn't you have enough?
Punching numbers into. I don't know, because I keep punching numbers into the compound.
What are you investing it in?
Index funds, so 100% equity in index funds. So
and what's the rate of return in the last 30 years on those index funds?
Well, the index fund I'm at the moment, it's only been out since 2011, and it's 9% every year so far.
If you save 15% of your income from 32 to 62 at 9%, you're going to have plenty of money.
And just so in case people don't know, math works the same in any country. Don't owe people money. It works wherever you live. It's a cool thing about math. It's international.
The baby steps work exactly the same in the UK as they do in the US, with the exception of what you put your money into in baby step 4, because obviously you have a different retirement system. But he's got access to a 9% rate of return fund. You're going to be just fine saving 15% of your income for 30 years. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Thessalonians 5:16 and 18. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. William James says, it is our attitude at the beginning of a difficult task, which more than anything else will affect its successful outcome. That's worth doing again. I'm going to do that one again. William James, which, if you've never read, by the way, might be one of the founders of the positive thinking movement, just way back in the Ralph Waldo Emerson era. It is our attitude at the beginning of a difficult task, which more than anything else will affect its successful outcome. It turns out your attitude is probably more important than your skill, your intellect, your education. That's true. I mean, I'm just adding on to Mr. William James here, but it really does matter.
Well, they've done all those since this quote comes out. They've done years and years of mindset, and we were just talking about what type of mindset are you bringing to this? Is it a restrictive one? Do you think is it a scarcity mindset? Is it an abundance mindset? Is it how you enter in? I think I'm going to fail. You're going to fail, right? I think I'm going to approach this as a challenge. I'm a kind of person who overcomes challenges. You're going to lean in. You're going to lean in. You're not going to know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden, that attitude that you take to it is going to help you be successful on the back end. What if you approached a hard conversation with your wife as, I'm the kind of husband that has hard conversations because I value my marriage, versus, oh, here we go again, right? You don't think that doesn't affect that conversation?
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy that, to go back to
deal with her.
I'm the kind of guy that's going to leave my family when I suddenly die, which I will. I'm going to leave them.
You plan to be suddenly.
I hope so, man. I'm hoping so.
You're planning suddenly. Well, the way you live, I suspect.
I want to be sudden. But I am going to be the kind of guy who leaves them in that kind of situation versus, well, I'm just going to avoid it.
Yeah.
I love that quote, man.
That's good. Your
great.
Attitude at the beginning of a difficult task is the largest indicator, he is saying, of whether or not you succeed. It is not your skill level. It's not your intellect. It's your outlook. Man, I got a lot. Ooh, that'll preach right there. All right, Kyle is with us in Columbus, Ohio. Hey, Kyle, what's up?
Hey, guys, how are you doing?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Hey, so I just wanted to get your advice with a situation. My wife and I are on baby step 2. We love you guys. We're kind of new the last couple months. We're on baby step 2. And my wife will be graduating in the spring with her master's degree. Right now, our household income is about $113,000, and her salary stands to double when she's graduated grad school. So my question...
and that will put your income at what?
About $163,000.
What's she getting her master's in?
So it's an advanced healthcare degree. Right now, it's a new degree, but it's equivalent to like a nurse practitioner or a physician's assistant.
Gotcha. Cool.
Basically, she'll be able to function like a pulmonary fellow, and Yeah, it's
Phenomenal.
absolutely amazing.
Phenomenal. Okay.
So my question is, we've had some issues in the past with my mother-in-law specifically. As I've heard you say, she probably is kind of a travel agent for guilt trips. And to where she and my sisters-in-laws have reached out to my wife for financial help in the past for certain things. So my question with that is kind of, as my wife is approaching this point in our life, in our marriage, and in her career, where she will be making more money, how do I help support her moving forward when I know in the back of my mind my in-laws will probably just be asking for more and more as she makes more money in her career?
Does she want to give them that money?
She wants to help them, but she doesn't want to enable them. She's been burned in the past to the point where now I'm concerned for her emotional and mental health. It's been so bad that she's had 2 panic attacks in the past.
Yeah, so she
has in the past, but in the last year or so, she's made the decision to basically cut them off unless it's an absolute emergency.
So here's the thing. When my daughters were teenagers, we spent a lot of time discussing premarital sex. Because if you wait until you're the heat of the moment to decide about that, you're going to lose the decision. And so you have to decide ahead of time and steel your mind, S-T-E-E-L, your mind, to be ready for an inevitable conflict. And you have to have already decided before the conflict occurs what's going to happen. And you have to build up the courage and the muscle in your brain to be ready for that. And so I think that's what you're asking, and I think that's what you've got to do. And it may involve seeing a counselor. It may involve you guys sitting down with your pastor and releasing her from her felt obligation to these people to where she really gets very comfortable with no.
Okay.
I don't know, John.
Yeah, and the challenge you're going to have is you're going to want to do that no for her.
Oh,
and until she gets,
that won't work.
Until she comes to terms with her ability to tell her family no, you're just going to have to play a supporting role there. You can, as we talked about earlier, you can cause a ruckus, man. You can say, I don't want using our money. It's hurting them. But this is her family, and it's going to get messy.
This is a brilliant woman, your wife. She's getting a master's degree in the healthcare field. She's not lacking in intellect. Apply that intellect to growing, walking with her, have her apply that intellect to growing in this area of emotional strength.
And she loves her pulmonary patients enough to say, stop smoking. Don't go run after you just had this. She needs to love her family in that same way and say no. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
And it's very difficult. The most difficult boundary setting is between a daughter and a mother, a daughter and her sister. Female to female is the most difficult. Guys can look at each other and go, screw you, no. A lot easier. It's a lot easier for us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because we're just combative. But for ladies, it's like the emotional, relational thing is like, oh my God, I hurt their feelings. And it's like, but she's going to reach a point where she's going to end the relationship completely if she doesn't deal with this in strength ahead of time now. And it's going to get nasty.
The earlier she can draw boundaries, the better.
Yeah, and just tell her to get ready for the next time. Go ahead and start working on it. Spend some, like you study, I'm going to send you a copy of Dr. Loney's book, Redefining Anxiety. I'm also going to send you a copy of Dr. Henry Cloud's book, Boundaries. And this is her homework. She's got to get ready because what happens is when you set a boundary with someone who doesn't have boundaries, 100% of the time they come at you.
They want to know if that boundary is going to hold, right?
Yeah. Well, they feel entitled to you.
Right.
They feel entitled to a chunk of your butt. And they keep chewing on your butt until you don't have one.
And they will after they chew your butt off, they'll chew your soul out from under you?
Yep. That's exactly what happens.
You're going to let your family starve? You hate your mother?
What's wrong? You don't. After all I've done for you,
you're just going to let your sister? She just needs.
After all I've done, this is your own flesh and blood.
I don't know what we did. Because you're fancy now. You got your master's and you're fancy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You done gone up above your raisin.
You don't know. You forgot where you came from. Man.
No, I didn't, and that's why I'm not there.
That's right.
I didn't forget a bit of it.
Kyle, you're a good man. Stand by that woman.
Yeah, I'd help her get those muscles built. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.